action.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 10 games is all that separates these teams between going to face it Global Summit and having a couple of weeks break. And a lot of money, as you mentioned, in between.
There's a lot of money, a lot of pride, and honestly, just a lot of defining moments that could be set here. Crowd out of the plane, probably Alf plays on his own a little bit earlier than what we normally see. I mean, say what we normally see, they're obviously lingering around that top edge, but
they've
maybe
been looking for a home for a long time, though, aren't they, really? They're still not really comfortable with it. They bounce around left, right, centre. It is an eastern plane, though, so it's going to cause a couple of problems for, say, Raise Your Edge. Are they maybe going to go long dropping, or are they even going to go for boats, or maybe in Sosnovka?
Raise Your Edge I think it'll be a long drop over to Prim. If not, grab the boats on the coastal line and make their way to Prim. So, usual thing for them, TSM home turf, FAZE home turf, NIP. This is the part where they kind of cause other teams problems because they're lingering around this area where it looks and messes up for the Knights. If FAZE have to go north, it means they have the eastern road completely covered. They might run into Ents, potentially.
If they've got to go south, they've got to bump into the back of them. It's a...
Being in Lippo causes a lot of knock-on effects for other teams on that side. It'll be interesting to see if the circle comes in on the west, because if it does, that's going to be a migration and a half.
Uninvited guests, I believe, is the proper phrase we could use for this.
Yeah.
Something we've been discussing, actually, is now that, okay, standard circle.
Simple.
We've been over here so many times, these eastern circles. It fits the playing path well as well, so I think everyone's going to be relatively happy with that. NAVI do look like they're going to commit and go all the way over to Georgia Pole, judging by their trajectory at the moment. But something we've been talking about now, obviously, because there is becoming a clear gap between the top 8 and the bottom 8. I think it's safe to say, like, if you're not in the top 8 now, you're probably, unless something bonkers happens, you really haven't got a realistic shot of making it now into that top 4. And the top 8, of course, is also the prize money as well. So we're starting to see gaps forming for that. Still, if you're in 9th and 10th, you're going to try and chase it and try and get that 8th, 9th, 7th place. See if you can try and get that money. But outside of that, we might start seeing some interesting things.
Yes, and I think this sets a precedence more for what will happen tomorrow. There are some weird and wonderful stuff that might go down today. I think it should be business as usual. Like you say, there's a good amount of teams, a good pocket of them in the middle that can still make it towards London. But tomorrow, it'll all but be, setting stone for a few teams. They're not making London. They're down in the lower pack. And for them, it's, well, you know what? Let's go and have some fun. Let's throw these gentleman rules in the air and go hunting.
Yeah, and not even the gentleman rules, but a bit more thinking of, like, okay, setting sights on phase 2. We want to adjust. We don't feel we've been getting much success from this spot, so let's start trying to drop, say, NAVI obviously started the tournament in Pachinki with Team Liquid. Why not start returning there and saying, Team Liquid, it's yours to lose. We've got nothing to lose. We want to fight you. We want to fight for Pachinki. This is phase 2 in mind, and they're going to start pressuring for it. Things like that. Yeah. They're especially even like we were talking about Crowd. Obviously, have been trying to look for a home. Maybe they'll actually start challenging Yasnaya with M19. Who knows? Start to go in there. I can see they've got 2 players that are kind of that way. So they've obviously got an eye on maybe doing that. I'm looking at Dream for You and Set that are down that way.
Well, we did just have the scores up in the left-hand side, and you guys at home will know exactly where people are going to be sitting. Let's take a look at this top 4. Ents, Liquid, G2, and NIP. G2, 331 points. They've been on a bit of slippery slope. They rounded out week number 1 in a 1st position, and then averaged week number 2 out in a 10th position. It was a huge drop-off. So far in week number 3, they're in 8th spot. So they're climbing up better, but it is a slippery slope.
And I just spoke to Adir about that, and he just said yesterday wasn't great, where he reckoned the circles were not very kind to them.
What about day before?
Well, yeah. But he's just saying, he's all right. Carlos was here yesterday, the G2 boss, so that little conversation. Monkey, though, coming in. This is the Liquid compound again, isn't it? They're always fighting for it, and it's Ibiza that catches one. He picks around the side, and it's Vitality that are trying to push in, and not Vitali. And that works for Starladder. So Team Liquid, it's Ibi that managed to catch them and basically give support fire. And again, this compound, it's been fought after so many times. It is prime position for this circle.
So unfortunately, M19 lose 2 just like that. Elite player will hit the deck because he knows there's no point in running in there. They've already lost 2 individuals, so why bother?
The one that was still up in Yasnaira as well, so...
Yeah, I think there's no point in engaging for it. I mean, it was a good play from Vitality. They turned up as a single person. It was scouted. And there's nothing else he could really do. You had to commit at that point because the vehicle was already turned when the shots came through. But it was good to see that there was commitment from the backlines. If there'd been another player not there, there would have been no support. And they would have been down. They would have lost that. So they got a good foothold on the map. So nice play from them. We'll continue on with the point system. 347 for Liquid, 331 for G2. A team that certainly could slip and needs to really get a hold of themselves here in these final 2 days. Now, all eyes on the prize when we talk about this next spot, NIP. 318 points, 4th position. Now, there's only 4 going to London. 5th, 6th, and 7th. We've got FaZe, Jokers, and Winstrike all in that order. 314, 314, 298. Okay, 6th to 7th, a little bit of a bigger gap. But to have 2 teams literally 4 points behind, 4th place is completely anybody's game.
Yeah, and we saw, what, Jokers and FaZe both have a 20-point game yesterday.
Distance.
Michael landing his shots, and, well, G2 had actually backed away from that. Oh, Wookie's in. Wookie's going to push it.
Told him to turn and face. Clearly, he saw him from across the road and says, you know what, here's a support fire you need. Actually, I've knocked him. It's not just support fire, it's a confirmed kill. Point in the back for TSM. Poor start for G2.
Just checking the whole building, making sure it's clean before he goes for the flush. Making sure it's clean.
He might have potentially actually not realised hiding in the corner. Either way, G2, not the best start, and we're just pretty much just been talking about them.
TSM are one of those chasing teams. They're on the 8th at the moment. Obviously started off fantastically well in this tournament. Had the highest point game as well. I think it was a 31-point game or something like that. The very first match in week 1 of the entire PEL has been the highest so far. FaZe Clan, of course, on your screens here. 20-point game for them to finish out, round out the day. Yesterday, they didn't win the game, but they certainly had the most points because they had 15 kills in that match.
Let's not forget, though, last time they finished first.
They finished 16th.
They came in the next day and finished 16th. I think one thing to note on about the Jokers as a point, and also about FaZe, so far, week 1, FaZe, and week 2, it was 9th and 5th average in placements. Week 1 and week 2 for the Jokers, it was 5th and then a big drop off for 11th. Right now, both of those 2 teams are in their highest spot. FaZe are averaging 3rd place, Jokers averaging 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, Jokers have been... I don't think Jokers have ever dropped out of the top 8, you know, throughout the entirety of this tournament.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know we're only 2 days in for this week, but still, when you come about averages, they are playing their best PUBG.
This is the time. I mean, they've picked up 2 wins, right? They hadn't got a win before this week began, and now they've picked up 2 this week already. So they're definitely on it, and we saw obviously the damage done. Senya's right up there. I think he's the top actually in terms of damage done. So certainly a very capable team, and let's not forget they qualified in 1st place in Minsk, ahead of ENCE and G2. So totally capable. NAVI catching Winstrike out. That's not so good for them. I believe they're in 7th place. Yep. They are one of the chasing teams, and that's not going to be a good start.
Yeah, that's the one that was in contention for this top spot. So in 7th place, 298. This is where you get the bigger drop-off now. I think we are, what, 16 points between 6th and 7th, and that's where you see FaZe and Jokers lying around that area. So at the moment, I say at the moment, for the next 2 days, it's all about a battle for domination, a battle for points. How many kills can you pick up? But most importantly, what's your survivability like? Okay, going into these final circles, if you want to be jumping up there, if you're not going for kills, you have to be going for the long play, going for that placement, getting into the end circles, and all being well, having a 4-man stack, because that gives you your biggest chance of winning it out and bagging 10 crucial points.
TSM are still kind of all spread over that hillside position. They're ready to move. The circle's about to shift. It's going to go pull across actually a little bit towards the mansion area. We've had a mansion courtyard finished before, so the Knights are going to probably just join Kramer in that mansion. If they're not fast, FaZe might beat them to the punch. It looks like, though, FaZe, I think, are going for the yellows. Yeah, they're going to scout it from the yellows.
Yeah, we'll see them taking a look at mansion, but they've already one player in there, as you alluded to. And begin a couple of warning shots himself. ENCE have come down from the mountains. The people up there, they've been lingering for so long of ENCE, and they always just seem to do it. It's amazing how they always do well.
Such a nice spread from Vitality here. They really have got a big trap. Look at their positioning. They had obviously the two in the compound that they fought for, but then they've got this spread across the road. So drive past, Gon goes up the road. He's going to veer off,
Where did James
and that's going to cap him. It was just on by Monkey here as he caught past. He went past what 3 members. You can see there was another one on the side there. I think NASA's is on the side. So they had multiple sides of the road. Ibi's car is on fire, and it's Miraku that will collect themselves the kill. Back up in heaven as they were when they had that close battle from this similar spot against Digital Athletics. They finished second in that game with a lot of kills.
Oh, looks like Rustam Ma's opening up onto M19. They'll be down to 1 player now. Rustam Ma with the 249 as well.
Again.
That means that Old Ends have picked up a big boy crate and a big boy gun. They'll be level 3 geared up. MBS gets the warning shots from behind. You can see the trace fire. He's actually been dinked in the head as well. That's a pretty fair amount of distance there, so he needs to be careful.
Is that Vitality taking shots at him? I think it is.
Looks
that's a long
from
way
this
out.
angle,
that's
yeah.
Long way out.
Well, that's the meta, right? Everyone's either, if they're not rocking a Mini, they're rocking an SLR. If they don't have a DMR, they're going to be rocking the sniper rifle. I mean, we've even seen the SKS is playing quite a pivotal point in some of these games. It's just all your long-range weapons. But the 5.56, it's just, with the Mini, it's so adaptable that you'll even see close engagements being able to be fought off. All right, you shouldn't. You should always have an automatic weapon. But if someone comes around a corner, you've got like a 3 times or even a 6 times, which you can change the variable scope on. You can at least put a couple of bullets down. But every time we're going to be snapping to these players, it's either going to be AR or DMR.
TSM still massively spread across the hillside from prison all the way down to the edge of Milta. That's how much they're spread at the moment. So knowing that they have the south covered themselves, I think Michael just watched Raise Your Edge head on down. They are just to the south of your screen. There you go, just popping into vision now as Fast Rail along that coastline, having a bit of a duel with Red Diamonds. Digital Athletics, they've gone into Yasnaya. They've committed to this one, 6-mo. We've seen them here before. They're actually spread all over because Beautiful Death is way, way, way miles away. Windstrike looks like they have an idea of where he is.
I don't like the play, though, here, especially from Windstrike, for the simple fact that they're up against the circle. Okay, you've got a lot of height advantage here, and you'll be able to lay down a few shots, but really, and let's be honest, once the circle moves, where do you go? You go one way, you come out, and you're going to be running into ends. They could also take, potentially from where they're located, the opposing side of the road, and just bottleneck them in, and they'll flood into that 249 and completely trash them. Okay, they've got a bit of distance, but you've also got Crow Crowd who's getting involved in there. They've been in those yellows a few times now. If the circle doesn't go their way, Yasnaya, it's basically just you burying yourself.
NAVI sitting right on the edge of the compound. We saw them collecting one member of Windstrike earlier on, but now the circle will be shrinking in once again. Where will we head? It is centering up fairly well, and now, of course, Heaven and Mansion is the spot. Do we think this is going to be another Mansion finish? Is this going to be a courtyard? I wonder.
I mean, it could still go flying to either the left or the right. You'll see the rotations now starting to come through. I'll guide you through a few individuals where they're going. Red Diamonds look like they're going to be setting up shop just on that eastern front. The little shacks that have come around is just to the right-hand side of Mansion.
Are they crashing Mansion? They're crashing. They're crashing.
Oh, 3 teams are crashing Mansion. So this is the one where you had before where the Knights take the backside. They let it go for the front house. The Knights are already here inside the garage, but it looks like all of TSM have just dive-bombed in.
Yeah, they've gone for the back house, and of course the Knights, Kramer's been here the entire time, so the rest of the Knights do join them. So there's plenty of space in here, certainly for 2 teams. Looks like they're happy. FaZe Clan have gone in towards the Reds as well. The Yellows in the distance. There's Red Diamonds up on the hillside. That's the shots you can see the Knights taking. Iro did get caught out, though, by Windstrike. That's the main man down as the rest of Digital Athletics move into the edge of Yasnaya. And you can see they're all still sitting in there. It's pretty much the edge circle now, though. It's looking like it's, well, the center point is where NIP are. And they're the team that everyone's chasing.
You also saw Drayden just overextend from the rest of his teammates and split off to take the front houses just outside Mansion. That's good because it completely locks down that front side. They might do a 2-2 split, especially if Voxic can land a headshot like that. Another man who's known for using, you know, when we look towards DMRs and stuff and we talk about them at bigger picture, but the Knights like to take full advantage of these M24s, these Kar98s that are always lingering. They're a team that can pip ahead at a ridiculous range. I think Voxic still holds the record in PEL so far for the longest distance, if I'm not mistaken. Has to be on Miramar because we know the snipers are absolutely insane on that map with the wide open ground. But being in this 2-2 split locks down that front side, so TSM will watch the back if everyone wants to come lingering through the woods. But honestly, I think that's a no-go zone for now.
Oh, G2 just getting more knocked by Gempty. They are deep south, though, so I think they're in Alamo, actually. They're perfectly safe. They just get themselves revived back on the other side of the wall. Raise Your Edge on the move, just trying to find their final home. They're kind of the other side of the prison at the moment, the only team not in the circle. Yeah, Chris is going to get back on his feet. Udir also took a big hit there as well. G2 down to 2, remember? Down to 3, sorry. As Raise Your Edge do take shots on the back of Team Liquid there. So Samty and Gemty, they were sitting in the ditch hoping that they had themselves some free reign to take the shots, and they are getting caught in the back because they weren't expecting Raise Your Edge to be coming down from the prison walls. Now, this is not really where a team is an NIP steal that kill away again. That's another point going to Nip.
You want to make sure that every single bullet you hear, you look towards. Look for these third-party engagements. Look to be just picking yourself up some free gear. I'm looking on the map. I think Squeak is picking up a crate, so that'll be the second set of level 3 gear. And Big Boy's toys going in the hands of Ends as if they want strong enough. A second knock comes in from the Knights onto TSM. I don't know if that's the same player.
We're going to see someone crashing into Heaven here, I think. Someone's going to crash NIP in Heaven. I don't know who, but there's a lot of, obviously, the tree area. Remember the tree area of North of Mansion?
Which we've had one before, and it was a blunder, to be honest with you. I think it was, which team? It was Vitality that turned up and got completely decimated on arrival.
Red Diamonds are there. Navi are going for it. Digital Athletics also coming in right behind Navi. 80 getting knocked there. So FaZe actually just had one knock a moment ago. They're reviving. They immediately got another one. Navi come in on foot straight towards it. Digital Athletics down and down. And that's going to be Batulin also caught out and flushed out by Michael, who's trying to take the shots. And it was Miraku that managed to steal it away. Pin will catch Sadovnik out, and Navi have just been decimated in the trees.
And look, it still continues now. Digital Athletics will fall under the hammer. This is what happens when you push the mansion. Unfortunately, the trees, they don't do it justice because there's just so many teams that like to come into this area.
FaZe on the move as well. They're coming in. I think the other side of the Knights. They're crashing the Knights.
Last time they did this, they got completely trashed, but it looks like they're going for the commitment league.
Yeah, they're crashing on towards the Knights now. Voxic and Reels. Oh, you don't want to be down in one as soon as they come around the corner. Reels tries to get the spray down. Uber will catch him out there. Reels down and flushed instantly. 80 will be taken away. I think that was another knock that came in, though, so they might be able to get the revive. Voxic, an underhand nade could absolutely end FaZe here. Bang! You're done!
I think there's a one-man still lingering around. That nade has done so much damage. And last man for FaZe, he's all tanked up. He's trying to get whatever he can. Keep an eye on that kill feed to see if he goes down, because that is basically FaZe's last stand. And this could be almost, oh, it won't be because I've already seen a team go out, unfortunately, but
be great to see FaZe Clan, the team that's fighting for that 4th spot right now. Raise Your Edge lingering down the bottom of the table.
Uber's gone. That's it. It's literally Fuzz on his own. No res has come through. And again, this all comes off the back of controlling those 2 buildings. They took the split, and having 2 players on the opposing side allows them not only to call it out and give the information, but they can just drill these vehicles into oblivion. Obviously, a misplay running over your player. It was we saw it yesterday. I think it was with Navi where you clipped one on the engagement, but oh, Team Liquid down in 16. Sorry, I didn't cop for that one.
Yeah, obviously they were in the ditch, and Raise Your Edge caught them a couple of times, but not the greatest start for them. A team that obviously are fairly comfortable in 2nd place, but you know, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
You pick up a few 16s, anything can happen.
Yeah, and I don't think they got a kill out of it either. They lost, obviously, the 2-2 Vitality on that rotate, and then the other 2 had to sit there. It may be G2's turn, you know. Kane's going for it. Udir and Chris, Udir's already down. He's been finished off by Couple Magic. Kane gets himself just about in. Chris is still not there. The Jokers are the ones that are taking shots, and of course, they are one of the chasing packs. Nobody, by the way, went for Heaven, which surprises me.
Set's been confirmed, and now Vitality will fall down. And again, you look at all these tracer lines. I think it was a pre-nade there, and he read it well, did Voxic, so kind of baited him into it. But even if he hadn't done, for the simple fact of controlling that 2-2 split, he chased him out, the bullets come in the back, there's nothing he can do. FaZe 15th place, a team on the chase, elite player. Are you going to ruin Vitality here?
Well, he's just done one.
No,
can't do the
denied.
second note. Jazza will be able to get them back on their feet, or will he? He looks like Dream for You's getting a decent amount of shots. NIP also catching Nasus. You can see in that smoke, he's trying to dodge, duck, weave, trying to keep himself safe. The circle, by the way, has very much shifted onto NIP, the team that everybody's chasing. They are sitting pretty in heaven right now, and they have a massive field of view on everybody that's coming at them.
Nades are coming up and over, but they're just a little bit too far. We're still going for the previous smoke. As Magister as Narcissus holds point. Fast rail again, time and time again. Do we see that M24 from him always coming into play in the kill feed? Dimash will get a faceful, unfortunately. Pokemon and Recrent for Navi, down to 2 players, and again that came off the back of just smashing into the woods. And all of a sudden it looks like the Finns once again go back to back. Rusterman to Jorski, Trifeli with the follow.
Razor Edge right on top of G2 here. Kane's going to be surrounded, so that leaves Chris as the last man standing, and he's a long way out. He's trying to make his way into the back of the Jokers, and I hope they'll give him the cover fire that they require. Vitality getting bodied by everyone. You can see even Jazzer actually nailed one of his own teammates there, just at the wrong time as they're getting pressured by Crow Crowd. Now you see Navi getting pressured there. Obviously the last man is Recrent, and Pokamoladoy comes around the side. Such a good player, but at the moment doesn't look like it's going their way. Recrent putting a lot of pressure on the CIS teammates.
He is. He's more importantly just standing his ground, which is good. There is a response there in the refrags as the last man standing, and now put him into a one-on-one scenario with Senpai, and again clean up these points, gives you the denial, stops the points going to the other team, and more importantly,
Kramer's gone. That's the Knights, I think, in all sorts of trouble, and maybe then done.
There was an answer
Kramer
back though.
Is on absolutely nothing. Look at that. That's it. He's the last man standing. There's an 8. That's going to be getting. Oh, he's got away with it. Gets on his feet. Razor Edge continuing the barrage. Vitality, meanwhile, you can see in the kill feed getting battered by NIP and Crow Crowd from every angle. Kramer hits the dirt, but surely Razor Edge will see him now.
You didn't expect so unless the smokes are up in front of him. Jazzer and Monkey die simultaneously. There's not much left. It probably all comes down to Shadow. His last stand, unfortunately, ruined by CC, who've been here all this time, just holding points. An answer back from Kramer, but with 3 members directly. Oh, what? Okay, yeah, he's done some damage, but unfortunately won't go any further. 12th position will become his grave. As Snack picks up another point for Razor Edge.
Just about the perfect game for NIP here. 4th place, everybody chasing you. You get the circle, it plumb center, and you can take shots on every single team coming at you. They've been collecting kill after kill after kill already. They're going to be seeing, obviously, they finished the day going down to FaZe Clan in that epic 1v3 from Aitzi, but they're going to be looking at this and thinking we can gain all those points we lost in that match.
So the bigger thing for them is not only is the circle once again gone their way, they have the height control, they have the building cover, but they can spread across heaven so they can see all 360 degrees of this circle and stop any assault because they have the 2-2 split.
You know what?
Go on.
They may well pass G2 in this game in terms of points in 3rd place. I'm almost certain. They're only 13 points,
let's say
behind.
they get the win, they're back to 328 instantly.
Yeah.
And they're only 3 behind then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see they just keep getting the kills. Everybody has to come across. I mean, anyone that's played this game knows what this area is like, and it is an open run over fields. If you haven't got smokes, you haven't got the utility, you are absolutely screwed. Michael pushing on to Cup of Magic. We're seeing Recrent here. He's going on towards Digital Athletics. That's going to be a nade completely whiffed. That's going to go off the side. Michael does get taken down. Navi down. 10th place. Maybe we'll get to see something else now as TSM continue their push onto Razor Edge.
Well, looks like one of the members of NIP is actually being knocked, and that's not good. Ensa here knocking at the door. They're on the front lines of NIP. They've committed 1 player across. Sixmo still doing what he can. Need to pick up a few points. A 2nd player down. Now all of a sudden, everything that had NIP going for them, they now have to do a double commitment here.
There.
They sent 1 across, so now they don't have this 2-2 split. They had 3 in the other building. 2 of them are already down.
Jokers are coming.
Basically, to hold this side on his own, you've got a 1-man band, which will be Miraku. That's not enough. Everybody's going to assault this side of heaven. It's completely open for the taking.
And the Jokers are one of the teams in the chase. They've come around the side, as you mentioned, Ents. They did make a strong push. Dream for you, though, has caught them in the back. That's Trifeli. He was the last man that hadn't moved. Vard trying to get a peek around the side, can't find the angle, wants to try and smoke his teammate, but he's being pressured by Mikaz, who comes up and gets him down, and that's 2 members of NIP gone. I think they may be down to 1, in fact. Gaxi and Miraku are still alive, but Gaxi is in all sorts of trouble.
I think he might be.
I think he's down.
He's down. Yeah. He's definitely down. So it literally comes down to Miraku to defend off 3 teams from one side of
And the Jokers
the
are right next to him. TSM have also moved in as well next to the Jokers, so they're going at it down the side. The Jokers, of course, chasing in 5th place. Oh, D-Mash smashes Wookie. The man with the M24 finds a Car 98 coming straight at him, and they're going to confirm that quickly. Gaxi does get taken down. That leaves Miraku, the last man standing.
Instantly cleaned up, and now TSM have to do the dirty here and get inside to heaven. But how do you get upstairs when you've got Miraku watching from one building, you've got Red Diamond Senpai from the next one on, Then all of a sudden, you've just got the remnants of Ents just kicking back. They completely destroyed NIP and took that from them. I'm only assuming the pick must have come through for Trifoli. I know he's dying on the edge and there's no revive coming through, but he did have an AWM. Circle also goes from that side of heaven. How do Ents do this? How do they just turn up unannounced, geared up, completely level 3'd, and now they control the power position on the map? This team is absolutely disgusting.
They sat and watched it all play out. If you think of yesterday's game, they just sat from afar, watched everybody kill each other, and came in towards the end and said, thank you very much. Now is our time to shine. We can see where they do it. Then also, to the point that the circle before this, nobody could make that play because anyone that tried to push Heaven would get shot in the back while you're on the hills, and you're pushing also into a team. So it was just like a double threat situation. At the point, as soon as, like you say, they made for it, the circle went that way, and everybody had to make that play. So suddenly you're not getting shot in the back. Everybody's doing the same move. Windstrike actually coming in behind, Ents doing the same thing. The
thing is, with NIP, they have this 2-2 split. Okay, knocking one, you remove one player from the team, but sometimes, in essence, you remove two because you have to get that player to get the res. So they have two players down in the front side of Heaven. They then sent one across the road, which left Miracle on his own, which you can't have one man defending three teams, and everything's just gone completely topsy-turvy. And Miracu's outside of the zone now, and he's basically staring down the barrel of six players that are just lingering around him.
It's an impossibly large compound to try and hold on your own. Sure, they can hold it for a certain amount of time, but yeah, as you mentioned, they probably should have collapsed and got a little closer. TSM getting a little too close to Nookie there. Dream for you being picked off. Jokers, by the way, are just collecting kills now, and this is a big part. We've got to see how many NIP had. I haven't seen the kill counter yet. Ents up to 5 and counting. That's Miracu collecting one more. Gustav got the knock and the kill, actually, so we managed to confirm that one, Miracu. The Jokers, I think we're up to 6 kills, if I'm not mistaken. They're the ones, obviously, in hot pursuit on NIP, but they have to take NIP out of the game before the placement points get too high, and they can't chase.
So we'll have a brief pause for a moment. There's only 2 players that are outside of the white right now, and that's Miracu and Senpai. Just about to pop into your screen there, left-hand side. Miracu AKM comes out. Up close and personal, that thing absolutely shreds, lingering in the smoke as well. He knows Senpai's here.
Is he just going to take a shot?
I think he just waits for him to come out, to be honest with you, because now he's been smashed from the other side.
Mikaz sees him, yeah. Mikaz has copped him. He's trying to catch him around there. Miracu realizes the danger. Oh, Senpai's just going to go for an underhand nade. Oh, Miracu has done one. They've done one back and forward. That's mutually assured destruction. Senpai will be the one that comes out on top, and NIP go down in 7th place.
D-Mash wants to get involved as well. You might have got out of one grenade, but you're not getting out of that one, Sunshine. Senpai down, 6th position for the Red Diamonds, and now this has been opened up because Ents have the full information where all these teams are lingering, and they still have a compound in the circle. Is that 249 in play? I believe it is. I think it was Rustaman who picks it up, so he's going to have the level 3 gear. I saw Squeaky go down earlier on with level 3s as well.
The Jokers with 4 alive. They were only 4 points behind NAP coming into this game. So this may be the first time we see Jokers hit that top 4, if they can come out on top. They have the numbers advantage, although arguably they're against 4 Finns.
I suppose it depends now what Windstrike or even what TSM do. I know Rory's on his own, but we know what damage one individual player can do if they're left unchecked to just hit you in the back lines when you're not looking. I think they'll definitely have this one marked down, or at least they should. But it is the slow side, so he has all the time in the world to make his move and decide what he wants to do. He actually might get inside the building and just wait them out. Nope, he's dead. Mikas sees him from above. Nice read to look behind.
Yeah, just double checks. There goes Alf Plays as well, so Crowd out. And now it's going to be time for Ents to turn this sword straight onto Windstrike. Quick peek, and Mikas gets himself one down. Now look at the Jokers. They're pouring in. They're getting caught out, though. D-Mash flushed down. Rostama has that M249, remember. That's a tough gun to try and rush into. He has the bullets to keep you at bay.
Needs to be careful that the grenades don't come in here because it's a very small building. There ain't too much time to do.
Immediately evacuate. You see Mikas jump straight out the back of the building there.
Nothing else you can really do. And again, this is where they might get boxed in, so they need to be careful here that they don't get completely flooded by 2 different angles.
Nookie back on his feet. So Windstrike still with 2 alive. Tixu's flank here could actually catch Jokers off guard. They have a smoke down at the moment down here by Senya, but Tab is uncovered.
Just those few shots has put them on red alert. The smokes will come up. It looks like it's Ents' time to shine. 249, there's the snap. Where's the second player? He's just to the right-hand side. Third one directly in front. This might be all she wrote for the Jokers. Ents just absolutely bodying them. I know this gun's pretty strong, but Christ, Rustamar, the kid is a freak.
37 bullets. Did he really need to reload there? I mean, I know you got a lot of bullets to play with. You can see the tab downside. I think he just saw the muzzle flash as well. He is in the smoke, but saw a couple of the shots going off. You can see Tab's view from the bottom right there as Rustamar looks towards the Jokers. Tab catches him, Tab flushes him, goes around. Can Tab go big on Mikaz? He's getting pressure from both sides. No, Jokers will go down third place. Nookie catches him out, and now it's Ents versus Windstrike. Mikaz all alone versus 2. Nookie back on his feet, manages to come around, but Nookie catches him, and it's a big play for Windstrike. They were in 7th place chasing the pack, and they have just caught right back.